It's Happy, the crafty chemist. It has been a minute or two since I have done this, so I'll be surprised if anybody even sees this video because it's been so long. But last video I made, I planned out what mediums I was going to use each month, and I had gone through all of my coloring books to see how many pages had been in each of the books, and then I planned out my 2024 coloring for the whole year. And when I did that, I was recovering from COVID. The last time that I had COVID, before that, I lost all interest in spinning wool. This time, I lost interest in coloring, or so I thought. It turns out that I actually did quite a bit in 6 months, which by that I mean I colored in 17 different books. And I have tried to update everything in here with what I've done, and we'll talk about my different media that I had planned to use for each month. And I haven't kept up with everything, but I've done as best as I could. So I want to start with just the smallest books on the pile to talk about this. And this is just the first one that was there. This is A Million Sloths. I colored this 2-page spread in May. A lot of these Lulu Mayo books I did color in May. This one I colored while I was in Alabama. Well, actually before, during, and after I took a trip to Alabama with the family. This looks like it was a lot of Inktense and Starjoy Gold for this, because that's just what I was carrying around with me at the time. And I don't know, those were colored previously. Oh, and I want to share this one with you. My husband's cousin's wife, so a family member by marriage, she colored this one. We had a really enjoyable day of coloring down just one afternoon. It may have even been Memorial Day. We just chilled out and colored, and there's some watercolor used in this one, but also stuff that I had taken with me. And that looks like it for A Million Sloths. The next book on my pile is A Million Cute Animals. And I know I colored at least one in here in May. Oh, yes, this one. I also did this one in Alabama. I used watercolors, pastel watercolors for the background and for the base of a lot of the plant and stuff in here, and I used some Inktense and then the Starjoy Gold colored pencils. I did this one when we were visiting the Cahaba River shoals and looking at the shoal lilies. So we spent the day out there at the river, a really nice warm day with, well, cool water. It's not as cold as I'm used to where I live, but it was a nice day, and I did this one, and that looks like I did one more. This one here I did entirely with chalk pastels, and this has been sealed with a art sealy thing, and it's doing pretty good. Most of this stuff that's on the other page is from before I sealed the page, so this is all just from before that. So yeah, this is entirely chalk pastels, and it was one of my challenge media to use. So 2 pages out of A Million Cute Animals. In A Million Unicorns, I did several pages as well. That one was from last year. So this is the page I did while my cousin did the sloth page. We picked 2 pages that were similar to each other, and I did use pastel watercolors for a lot of it, and then the Starjoy Gold pencils above that. So you can see I did this one in Alabama. This one I just finished last night. I was using all the graphite, and this has got a little bit of charcoal on here, and some watercolor pencils. So I did not buy very many new things over the past 6 months. I've been trying to avoid that, but I had wanted there's like a art set of Caran d'Ache stuff, and I didn't like the price on it, and I had some of the things already, so I just decided to make my own, and this came in a kit with the water brush. And so I bought the 3 Technolo RGB graphite pencils. So I have the Prussian blue and the dark phthalocylene green and the Carmine Lake for the graphite Technolos. And then I have 3 of the museum aquarelles. So I have the russet pencil and the phthalocylene blue and the yellow ochre for the museum aquarelle pencils. And then I think these just came in the kit, but I also was interested in checking out the difference between the Caran d'Ache, the Technologist regular graphite one. So I have the B, 3B, and 6B, and comparing that to like the Derwent graphite pencils. And I also have the Faber-Castell water-soluble graphite. So I do really enjoy water-soluble graphite. I used mostly this and a little bit of Graphitint on this page, and then yeah, like actually that's a bit, and then the charcoal. So it was a lot of fun to do this with the very limited supplies. I did a couple of other pages also with the very limited supplies after I got this. I've been using this little set a lot and really enjoying it. So I'm really glad that I bought it. Let's see if there's any others in this book. I do want to continue coloring in this book. I actually kind of have some plans to color, not that one. I do like this one a lot. But I think I want to color this one, and I probably will still be using the Caran d'Ache set and my set of, you know, the graphite and like Derwent kind of supplies. So that was A Million Unicorns and A Million Llamas. I also colored some pages. I had a lot of fun with my Lulu Mayo. So this one I used all glitter watercolors on. That was one of my medium challenges, to use all the different supplies that I have. And so this one seemed perfect for a lot of sparkle on here, and every bit of this is covered in sparkly watercolor, and it was a lot of fun to do that page. I'm not sure if I did any others in here this year. I think that, yeah, they're just all previously done pages, but there is another one I think in here that I wanted to do that's very similar to, here it is, to the one that's in the unicorns one. So I really want to do this one too. I'm really enjoying these books. They're very portable and just super relaxing to color. Like, you don't have to really think too hard. So obviously May was Mermaid, in addition to me doing the Lulu Mayo books. So I did some pages in here. That one's from last year. I did this page. This page has a lot of Inktense and the Starjoy Gold on it. So that was a lot of fun. I liked this page. I think it's the bright colors on it turned out really well for that background. I was playing around a whole lot. And I did this page here as well. This one looks like it was just Starjoy Gold, I think. That's a possibility. That's just what I had hanging out with me in my pencil box. So that's just what I did a lot of. This page here I did entirely with the Caran d'Ache set with this stuff. This is how I started playing with it. And you can see from 3 colored pencils and some tinted graphite and graphite pencils, I could make actually a lot of colors, and that was a lot of fun to just play around with and try to figure out how to do that. And even with that very limited color scheme, I made a lot of things there, and I really like it. This one I was trying to go for a very you know, purpley kind of color scheme for the flowers and the mermaid who would be taking a nap on those flowers. So I did do 4 mermaid pages, and that was a lot of fun. Again, I'm having a lot of fun with these books, and I may keep them out for a little while longer and just color some more in them, because I might as well spread that fun out for a little while. Obviously, there's still a lot that can be colored in here. And that ends all of the Lulu Mayo books that I have. All right, let's see if I need to adjust this. It looks like I do. This is a little bit bigger book. So one of the plans that I had for the whole year was to finish this book with 48 pages. I was like, okay, I can do 4 pages a month. And I am incredibly far behind. I barely colored in February. In addition to losing my coloring mojo after I got sick, I also took on an extremely heavy load for teaching this past semester, and I just didn't have time. I was exhausted most days, and so it just didn't happen. But I colored the A on the Super Bowl, during the Super Bowl. Looks like I colored B at the beginning of the month. I remember starting this one while we were in Ottawa in Canada. We went to Winterlude, and I did pick up another stash item while I was there that I'll show you in a little bit. And then this one looks like I finished on the 11th of February. And I think that could be the end of it. So I didn't even make it to 4 pages. So I did not make the first month. I did not make the second. This one I colored in 2023. So yeah, I had kind of failed. So maybe I need to keep this one close by and you know, try some more different media challenges for myself so that I can see if I can accomplish that. That's it for Flora and Fauna, but I do have a lot more that I'd like to do. In February, I also colored 1 page out of John O'Brien, Elves, Gnomes, and Other Little People coloring book. This is one that I had not colored in, so I colored the first page in this book, and I actually colored the last page as my first page in this book. And so this is, I did this in March, so I had it out for February, I guess, but I did not finish it. It was just sitting there, so I picked it up and colored in it, I think. Actually, this one also looks like, oh, no, this is, I thought it might be Prismacolor, but no, this is the Faber-Castell pencils. So this is Puck. My dog's name is Puck, and so I decided I would color Puck because of it being the same name as my dog, although my dog's name is Puck for hockey pucks. So people always asked, but yeah, that was it. I did start another page in here with the polychromos, but I did not get it finished either. And I was doing this in March for my leprechaun and the clovers here, but just didn't finish it. So this year, this is my first year of having a bunch of whips. So I have 1 whip in there. All right, and apparently I have a whip for Prismacolor in here, which I did not remember having. So I colored in Flora probably in January, and this was another 1 media challenge, so I used Mozart watercolor on this page. It is the last page in the book, and that was a lot of fun to play with the watercolor on here. Actually, I really like how that turned out too. It says I have a whip in here. Let's see what I have. That's from last year. Oh, this is my Prismacolor whip. Look, I've done a whole lot on it, so yeah. I guess I could come back to that. I actually was thinking of keeping my Maria Trolley books out and making them like the focus for this month and like type of books, because I have not colored very many pages in the books and I only have 2 of them, so it might be a good idea. All right. In Mythic World, I colored my first page in this book. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so yeah, I did this dragon page. Looks like I finished it on the 7th of January. I'm not really sure what all I used on it. Probably ink tints for sure. And maybe I was just on the ink tints because I got the additional colors of ink tints for Christmas and I was really liking playing with them. But yeah, the dragon guy here is page 22. Let's learn about him a little bit. It's Druk in the Himalayas. He's a dragon primarily from Bhutanese mythology. Lives in the remote areas of Mount Everest. His roar is attributed to the thunder that echoes across the mountains. He's the national symbol of Bhutan and the flag. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I remember having a good time coloring that one. And I do have another one that I'd really like to color for this month in here. This was the first page that I colored in the book. So, you know, I'm trying to color in books that I haven't even started. And this one is another one that I think I might tackle this one next, being 2 pages and everything. I don't know. I have a swim meet to go to this weekend, so, and it's outdoors, so I won't have the whole lot of time. All right, Frozen Fantasies. I colored a page in here. I colored this Snow Queen page. Again, a lot of ink tints on here and some glitter watercolors and some colored pencil on top of the ink tints. Not really sure what kind, but there is quite a few of the glittery watercolors throughout the picture. And I also used some acrylic paint markers to get rid of some lines, especially on the snow area. And this one is one that has all of the hidden pictures, so I do my best on them to just pretend they're not there and cover them up. So like the little puppy on the moon is just he's painted like the moon in the sky behind our Snow Queen. But I thought she was really pretty. I don't think well, I guess I have colored quite a few in this book, so I've had it for about a year. So next on my pile is Magical Earth, and I colored the polar bear. And this one I may have gotten for Christmas, so that may be all I've colored in here. Oh no, I did do another one, but I colored it after I got it for Christmas. So yeah, this one is one I got for Christmas, so there's only 2 pages colored in this book. Again, this is a lot of the new ink tints colors, and then there's some gold and some white watercolor on it. And it looks like a little bit of blue to give the stars the right kind of shine. I really wanted to do this one for the Aurora Borealis and the polar bear, I guess. But I had fun like around here doing the glow of the lanterns on the water, trying to make it look like there are actually lanterns there. And I actually really liked this one. This one I think came out really, really well. So 2 pages colored in this book total, and that's all for 2024. It looks like I have Menagerie on my pile, and in January I also colored the panda hiding in the bamboo, and I went with a very non-traditional color scheme. So obviously my bamboo is purple, and then with those orchids, those are yellow colored with pink middles. Even my panda is not white, it's pink to kind of blend in and match the background. There's a lot of ink tints on here, along with some colored pencil and some graphite pencil, and maybe even graphite tint, and you can kind of see the graphite shining a little down here in the corner. but I was really proud of this. Also, excuse me, there's some glitter watercolor in the background as well. I think this is also watercolor back here, just a thick one. I don't think I've colored much in this book either. I may have gotten this one at the end of the year. It may have also been a Christmas present. I can't remember for sure. You know, 6 months, it's a long time ago. All right. So yeah, that would have been the panda is the first one in Menagerie that I've colored. Oh no, I'm sorry. I lied. That armadillo was. Okay. Creatopia. Finally colored my first picture in here. And I colored with some acrylic paint pens that were a present from Christmas from my parents. And then I did the bird in colored pencil. So that's the first one I colored in here. Oh, actually, this is my birthday present, not a Christmas present, but birthday present from my parents. And kind of got me half of the challenge that I gave myself to use the acrylic paint pens on a whole page. And I started just like coloring something else. This was finished the day before the total solar eclipse that we had here. And then I was just like, while we were watching TV, just kind of started on that one just for fun. So I have another whip in this book, but that's all that's colored in Creatopia. So I was glad to get at least one page done in there. Next up, I have Symphony of Cute Animals, and I colored a very wallpaper page, and I also was really thrilled with it because this is all colored pencils, and I've got it to be very pastel colored, and actually it looks like there might be a teensy bit of graphite to do shadowing. I'm not entirely remembering for sure on that, but this one was finished on the 5th of April. And I did start another one in here that is also a whip, so I had never had any coloring whips. I always finished things. But I was sitting here the other day coloring on the church part with some water-soluble graphite, and I'll make sure to leave this out so I can get back to this because I really like this page, especially the little lambs. As everybody knows, I'm a huge fan of wool, so I gotta figure out what I want to do with the sky. That'll be one of the harder parts for me to figure out, but I was just like, start with the flowers, and then one day I was just feeling like the church. So Symphony of Cute Animals, I'll have a whip in there. All right, Geomorphia. I colored one in here, and this was another one of my challenges. So I only have a few colors of gouache, and I think it's like a skin tone set and like an earth kind of set, like landscape kind of set. So that was rough, let me tell you. So I don't have a black, and I kind of wished I did so that I could make some more contrast here. But overall, actually I'm really thrilled with how the gouache painting came out. And yeah, I kind of had to pick right. Another thing, when I was like researching the colors for things, I always thought giraffes were yellow. Turns out they're kind of just a ochre color, and luckily I had that in my set of colors. It did not have a yellow. So this is the second page I've colored in this book. I did the gouache because it's really thick paper. It's one-sided. I've had gouache go through paper before, but yeah, I need to like maybe invest in some more colors of gouache so that I can have some more fun with it. I just have the Arteza gouache. I think I will pick up a black. I will be out of town for that swim meet in a place where they have art stores, so I will probably go to an art store, and I'm going to go to a pen show, so maybe I'll do a report from the pen show. But yeah, you can see I have only colored one other picture in here, and it was a long time ago. It was over a year ago, so it was like a year and a half ago, so I was really happy to get a second one done in there. And then the next book on the pile is Millie Marotta's Animal Kingdom, and this is only the second one I've done in here, and it is this bird, this little parakeet that I did entirely with Neocolor 2. And I actually didn't even activate it for a lot of it. I kind of got very excited about that. There was no background to it, so I tried painting a background in there. It's not perfect, but I'm really proud of myself for tackling that and trying something completely new to me. I've only ever used the Neo colors basically as a background, so it was a really good challenge for myself to use the Neo colors exclusively on a page, and I just happened to do it on National Ballpoint Pen Day. It was June 6th was apparently the day that the ballpoint pen was invented, and I happen to really like pens, and so I actually used this ballpoint pen with this little thing here that I turned myself on my lathe. So it also led me to the realization that I need a few more colors of Neo colors. I keep them in a tin, and I'm not the biggest fan of purple, but I had a really hard time with this because I didn't have some purple colors, so I had to pick very carefully. And so that's another thing I intend to probably pick up when I go to the swim meet, is some purple Neo color tubes. Another new supply that I got was a whole set, and I'll show you in a second because this is the last book, and so I'll show you other new supplies in a new book that I got that I haven't colored in either. Was oil pastels. And so I challenged myself to use only oil pastels on a coloring page, and I've had this book. This is actually my first Camellia Angelkova book that I bought, but I hadn't colored anything in it. And I was like, well, this is perfect because these pictures are, there's a lot of open space and opportunity for shading and stuff like that. And so I just went with the first page and I colored the title page, or the book page, like this book belongs to page. And this is entirely with oil pastels. And it is transferring a little bit over to here, but it's really not too bad. And I might try sealing it with the stuff I used on the chalk pastels. But I have been having, a lot of fun with trying these pastels, whether they're chalk or oil. So yeah, this was fun. And I figured in this book, maybe I'll continue to practice with the oil pastels and just start from the beginning and go through, and if it bleeds onto the page in front of it, it won't probably be too big of a deal. And that way I'm not like coloring on top of other layers or anything. So if I continue playing with the oil pastels this month, this would be the next page in the book, and work my way through it. Hey, by the time I get done, hopefully I'll be really good with using oil pastels. We'll see. Okay, so that was all I have for coloring pages for the past 6 months. While I was in Canada, I did pick up this book. Let's make sure it gets in the screen. This is Femmes, Fleurs, and Fêtes. And so I do not know French, but this book is entirely in French. I picked it up at a bookstore in Ottawa, and it has a lot of these vintage style images, so there's a lot of shading and stuff already in here. Again, I don't know French, so we do have the names of the illustrators in here, and it just looks so much fun. The pictures in here were so pretty, and mostly, there's a little thing on the back side, but most of them are easily one-sided images, and if it felt so inclined, I could color the illustration on the other side. But I love these. They kind of have a collage feel to them. Like, this, gorgeous. I'm not normally somebody who likes to color faces, so the fact that there's minimal faces, great. I love coloring animals and flowers and scenes of things. So, like, there's a person there, but she's the cake. And obviously this is kind of a puppet sort of thing. arrow. I don't know, maybe D is for queen. I don't know. I just love that there's random, she has an owl and the chameleon down here. Here the goose is bigger than her, so she's kind of fairy-like. Also wearing a hat of a flower, fairy-like. It's a very different style of coloring book for me, which is why I also liked it. So I'm going to need to pick out one of these as the first page to color in this. I kind of have a goal set for coloring at least one page in all of my books and to minimize the amount of book buying that I do. So there won't be anything new coming from me for a bit, but they show, you know, using colored pencils or watercolors on the book. So there's 40 illustrations in there, and I paid full price for it at a bookstore. It looks like this is also sold in France. So, you know, my husband is very fluent in French, so maybe I'll have him tell me what it says. So then the only other thing that there is to show is the pastels that I got, and I picked up the Gallery oil pastels by Mayo, and that was because it was in this beautiful wooden box. It looks like one of these came over. So you can see I've used some of them a little bit. I'm trying to learn. This is what all the colors look like swatched out. And I'm just going to continue to have as much fun with them as I can. I am discovering a few holes and things, so I kind of need to, like, where color is that I don't have. I do know that with this set, you can't, with the Mayo, you have to buy an entirely new set. But I figure if I do get to the point where I've used something up, I'll just buy a similar color from a different set that would fit in here from like ones you can buy individually. And so if you made it this far through my 6 months of update of coloring journey, I thank you for sticking around, and I'll probably get back to making some more videos, and if I don't, you know, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, but I will go to the pen show this weekend, and I will be at the swim meet, and my class ends this week that I'm teaching this summer, so I will have a little bit more time. But happy coloring, and thanks for watching.